We'll be talking about the method of correct voice projection. You can have the nicest slide presentation, awesome content, and best outfit, but if the audience can't hear you loud and clear, everything will be in vain. Other than doing usual vocal warm-ups to help you sound better, a proper vocal projection is undeniably important in public speaking or presentation. So here I will tell you the correct way to project your voice when speaking. First is get your posture right. How you stand can affect your breathing and challenge your ability to project. Make sure you stand in a neutral position, feet shoulder width apart, and keep your shoulder back and avoid slouching. Don't hunch your back. This posture can help you take deep breaths and help your diaphragm control the speed and power at which your air is released as you speak. It is important to remember that a strong voice doesn't come from the vocal cords in the throat. They shape the breath from the lungs as it passes out of the body. Vocal strength depends on the power of that breath. The inhaled air is taken down to the diaphragm and released up and outward over the vocal cord into the mouth to be shaped into words before being released. And then next is about the breathing exercise. Your breathing can affect the way your voice project. Shallow breaths between words limit the power you can generate in your voice. Instead, be mindful of your breathing. Take deep breaths using your diaphragm to put as much air into your lungs as possible. The air you breathe generates power in your voice, allowing you to broadcast the sound further without straining your vocal cords or causing throat irritation. Several tips to improve your articulation. First is listen to yourself speak. The way you can listen to yourself speak is by record yourself while you are speaking. You can capture an actual presentation at work or simply speak for several minutes on your own. Listen to yourself and identify areas that you can improve, such as sharpening your pronunciation and eliminating filler words like and consider asking close friends and family to listen to you and ask for their feedback. And then the second one is check your speed. Strong articulation involves knowing how to use the appropriate rate of speech. Speaking too quickly can make it difficult for people to understand you and follow your thought, while speaking too slowly may imply that you are not confident or knowledgeable of your material. Next, the other one is practice pronunciation. When you listen to yourself speak, you may notice that certain words sound present challenge for you, and practice saying this word each day and focusing on each syllable and sound and emphasizing the correct part of the word. For example, the word mischievous has an emphasis on the first syllable, miss. If you are unsure of how to pronounce certain words, look them up and listen to the audio examples of their pronunciation. You may also want to focus on clearly expressing the last sound of the word. Make sure your voice does not trail off. For instance, pay close attention to contractions and words that end in T, SH or CH. The last one is speak at the right volume. Choose an appropriate volume when speaking to others. This may mean projecting your voice when speaking to a large crowd or reducing your volume when having a meeting with your supervisor.
Assalamualaikum and greetings to all. My name is Natalia binti Borhan. My check number is 2799967 and I will be discuss about the methods of controlling and overcoming fears during public speaking. The majority of us, including those at the top, have struggled with public speaking phobia. This dread is also referred to as glossophobia, which is a social phobia or anxiety disorder. Despite the fact that public speaking can be terrifying, it is an essential talent for aspiring entrepreneurs and business owners who will need to make a pitch, present an idea, or complete a deal in front of a crowd. So what are our options for dealing with it? First and foremost, do several practices. Even people who are used to speaking in public rehearse their speeches several times to ensure that they are perfect. You can gain confidence in your abilities to deliver your speech by practicing it 10, 20, or even 30 times. If your talk has time constraint, timing yourself during practice to runs and make any necessary adjustment to your topic to fit within the allotted time. Getting a lot of practice will help you gain confidence. The idea is to remove all resources of discomforting from your environment so you may concentrate completely on your presentation and acquire confidence in the content. Next, dress comfortably. When it comes to public speaking, the way you dress is crucial. The way you dress says a lot about your personality and self-assurance. The way you dress has an impact on how you feel and how confident you are. Wearing the appropriate clothing gives you confidence and helps you feel good on the inside. As a result, it's critical to put together a well-dressed attire that's both comfortable and professional. When you look well, you feel good, and when you dress professionally in style and elegance, your audience will regard you more positively and take you more seriously. Last but not least, have a proper meal. You lose your edge when you drink. The last thing you want while giving a public speech is to be overly relaxed. You must be razor sharp, clear, and crystalline. None of this is possible with alcohol. It has a numbing effect on the senses. As a result, avoid consuming alcoholic beverages. Drink water, coffee, tea, or juice instead. Milk products should also be avoided because they produce more phlegm. Excessive throat clearing while speaking is inconvenient and damaging to your voice. The best advice I can give you is to use common sense when choosing foods, eating something to keep you from being hungry, and store your desserts for later. Allow me to summarize my presentation before I leave. Do multiple rehearsals, dress properly, and have a proper meal are the most ideal way to control and overcome anxiety while public speaking. Thank you for your time.
Assalamualaikum and a very good day to Madam and my fellow friends. Before I start, let me introduce myself first. My name is Nur Ali Shaira binti Anwar. My matric number is 277003. Today, I'm going to give speech about rules and regulation of public speaking. Public speaking is an art and a difficult one indeed. Only those who are blessed with the confidence of speaking in front of large audience can speak flawlessly and unhesitatingly in public. But first, let me explain what is rules and regulation. Rule is a statement telling people what they should do in order to achieve success or a benefits of some kind. Regulation is an official rules or the acts of controlling something. In fact, rules and regulation carry the same meaning. There are several rules and regulations that I'm going to share. First rule of becoming a good public speaker, we should be ourselves and be unique. It is imperative to know yourself first. Only then you can put up your best show. You need to analyze your strengths and demonstrate them very well. You have to study your weakness and work on them. Only when you know yourself, you can be yourself, and that is the first step in becoming a good public speaker. Next, the second rule is clear communication. You have to communicate clearly. When you speak, your content must be clear and your presentation even clearer. For you to achieve this, a great deal of presentation is required. Nothing can substitute your preparation. The greatest of orators have their facts and figures ready, and for perfect execution of these facts, even the best of orator at one point of time practice in front of the mirror or family or even friends. Next is you should know your audience. Unless you know the people who you are addressing, it is difficult to know how to reach out to them. You have to know the age of group, taste, or mindset of your audience to anticipate how your speech goes up to them and to anticipate their queries and concern. Next is you should know your time when you speak. You should know how to attract your audience with the right length of your speech. An extremely long speech often disconnects your audience and make you lose their intention. Ideally, you have to write speech not longer than 15 or 20 minutes long. short speech can give the impression of not knowing much about your topic and inability to put those across. For the next rule, you have to make a great beginning with a good title. A good title make an audience look forward to your speech. It also set off the moods for the speech. In fact, the audience make up their mind with the title how much eagerly they would like to hear you. For instance, among a group of youngster or teenager as their target audience. So you can put the lyric of popular song to them or something of their fancy to attract them listen for your speech. Next is you have to open up their mind. Just a great title is important. The body of your speech must have something worthwhile. Try to make your audience think and analyze and participate in your speech. You can establish your rapport with your audience, then spark their interest in your subject. For the next one, you can maintain an information flow. So you have to make sure that the audience does not go astray. You have to keep them updated with the right information, law, and statistics. The last but not least, you have to make 3 drafts to a perfect speech. It is a proven fact that making 3 drafts to a final report create the best speech. So you can write, rewrite, and rewrite to get your final speech complete in all aspects. So, in conclusion, if you know rules and regulation of public speaking very well, you can speak confidently and improve yourself better. That's all from me. Thank you for your attention.
Hello everyone, I am Yashwini Yoganathan. My metric number is 277240. I'm here to talk about appropriate of language. As a speaker, we should pay attention to the language we used while speaking in front of audience. As with anything in life, there are positive and negative ways of using language. One of the first concepts a speaker needs to think about when looking at language use is appropriateness. By appropriate, I mean whether the language is suitable or fitting for ourselves as a speaker, and more importantly, it is suitable for our audience. First of all, we should make sure the language we use suitable for speaker's speech pattern and a language you are choosing is appropriate for your specific audience. Not all languages choices are appropriate for all speakers. Mostly we think using $1 million word will very effective, but in contrary it does not make any difference. $1 million words don't tend to function well in oral communication. So, using them will probably make you uncomfortable as a speaker. Also, it may be difficult for the audience to understand what you're speaking about. Thus, we use simple and familiar words while delivering a speech, so it will be easier to understand and it will make yourself comfortable when you speak. We should deliver speech with an effective language, so we should use correct vocabulary, grammar, punctuation. When we have a doubt about certain words, consult reference books or ask for help. We should avoid the slang terms, avoid sexist language. For example, change he to he or she, or simply use they. Don't use words that offend racial, ethnic, religious, or gender groups. Furthermore, we should pay attention to in-group jargon. Jargon refers to specialized language used by group of like-minded individuals. Only use in group jargon when we delivering speech of that group. We should never use. Lastly, using language appropriately simply asks us to use language that is familiar both to ourselves and to our audience. If we are not comfortable with the language we are using, then we are going to be more nervous while speaking, which will definitely have an impact on how our audience receive our speech. We may have a hard time speaking genuinely and sincerely if we use unfamiliar language, and this can impair our credibility. Furthermore, we want to make sure that the language we are using is familiar to our audience. If your audience cannot understand what you are saying, you will not have an effective speech. Hence, using appropriate language is very important, because if we fail to give effective speech, then we are disappointed and waste our audience time. So, prepare well on your written script so we can avoid unnecessary trouble on languages. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum madam and friends, and I hope everyone to have a good day. My name is Nur Atira binti Zulkifli. My matric number is 277506, and my topic today is about taboo and obstacle in public speaking. A taboo is an implicit prohibition on something based on a cultural sense that is excessively repulsive or perhaps too sacred for ordinary people. Thus, prohibition are present visually and society. An obstacle is an object or things, action or situation that cause of an obstruction. Different types of obstacle include physical, economic, biopsychosocial, cultural, political, technological, and military. Obstacle can also be defined as a difficulty or problem that prevent you from achieving something. The first thing you must do is getting physical. 60% of our communication is nonverbal. According to well-known social anthropologist Edward T. Hall, that means whenever we stand before an audience, our stance or our posture, our facial expression, our hand gesture, our whole body dynamic communicate more than our actual spoken word. So the first thing is the eyes. Within many cultures around the world, it is believed that eyes are the window to the soul. In public speaking, since we usually want to arouse both spirit and soul, the eyes become the most important physical equipment of all. Start by thinking about one-on-one conversation. The second one is the voice. The first person to discover he didn't like the sound of his own voice was probably Thomas Edison. When he invented the first phonograph, he had his own historic word. Mary had a little lamb. Like most of us, Edison was probably disappointed because our voice sound different on a recording, and we usually don't like the result. The reason is that our voice sound better inside our heads, and they do when we play back on recording machine. Thirdly is about posture. Keep a good posture, stand straight with your shoulder back, relax and feet shoulder wide apart. Do not cross your arm, and put your hand in a pocket or slouch. Face the audience as much as possible and keep your body open. Fourth is about breathing. You must relax and take a deep breath. Ensure that your voice hold powers and can project. Use slow and measured breathing to pace your speech. Pause to emphasize key points. And now I will move to my next point is about how to overcome obstacle in public speaking. The first point is create relative visualization. Most people are very good at imagining themselves doing something negative. Why not turn that around and visualize a great presentation? Picture the audience nodding in approval. Your mind plays tricks on you all the time through negative thinking. I'll talk about two kinds of visualization. External visualization is a way you're looking at yourself as if you're in a movie. And an internal visualization is where you see yourself actually performing the task from your point of view. If you are using external imaginary, you can watch yourself sitting in the audience, rising when the host calls your name, calmly striding up and the latent, taking 3 breaths and beginning your speech. That will be a great way. Secondly, get rid of tension. We all need some amount of tension in our bodies. If we didn't have tension, we wouldn't able to sit or stand. So it's not tension in general that we need to think about and get rid of, but rather misplaced tension. Proper alignment is the first step in relieving unnecessary tension. The spin, as you know, is crucial to alignment. It's the mess of your ship. If you have unnecessary tension, If you have unnecessary tension, it starts with your spin, and that makes it harder on your muscle to just keep you standing. Then everything else get out of whack. Your breath will be impaired, your shoulders and neck may be tight, and your vocal energy may be low. The audience mirror you So if you're feeling tense, they will too. So what can you do about it? You have to get physical. Working out, relieving your tension, go for a walk or run, dust off your bike, hit the pool or practice some yoga. Progressive relaxation is a tension and release exercise that was developed by American physician Edmond Jacob in 1908 to help patients overcome their anxiety. This is an exercise where you tense all body parts individually and then release to feel the difference. You start by lying on the floor in a quiet place. You learn to tense and release all the part of your body. Then if you feel tense before or during presentation, you can tense part of your body like toes and release. That's all for me. Thank you.